Let's play ball! Ladies and gentlemen, this season the Collegians are committed and have a slogan to hashtag building community through baseball. We are partnering with a nonprofit every single home game this season. Today's nonprofit is Cultivate. Put your hands together for Cultivate, serving this community's senior citizens.
Hello and welcome to Suits Field here at Scott Carpenter Park. Doubleheader action tonight as the Boulder Collegians take on the Fort Collins Foxes here in their second and third games of this 2019 season. Hi everybody and welcome inside the broadcast booth. Ethan Jordan alongside you here, alongside producer engineer Mitch Sanchez as we bring you Collegians baseball here on a Saturday night. Collegians fell last night to the Denver Browns 9-6. The Collegians took it into the ninth with a lead, but then Zach Baldini hit a grand slam home run that ultimately gave the win to the Browns. So the Collegians look to pick up their first win here in their first league game of the year. Jake Olofsson will get the ball for the Collegians on the hill. As the Collegians mentioned, so this is really for Coach Toledo the first game that he's really putting all of his irons in on. Olofsson is going to be kind of almost like an opening day starter. We saw multiple guys play different positions yesterday. We saw multiple pitchers. Not going to be the same here today. We're going to see what's more of a traditional lineup, traditional baseball being played in terms of how the pitching is managed, how the defense is managed here in this first league game. So Olofsson, the official starter here today, not like the last 2 days where guys only going to go one or two. Olofsson's going to try and work this one probably into the fourth or so. As I should mention, these two games are both going to be 7-inning games. So something to keep in mind. As we get a little white balance on the camera there for you, so you get a little bit better of a shot. There you go. The color is just a bit brighter for you right there.
Leading off for the Foxes, second baseman Mata.
So just about ready for play here as Tyler Modeloid stands in from the right side to lead things off for the Foxes. Olofsson, big, tall right-hander out there on the hill. 6'5", 240 pounds. Just finished up his junior year at Kansas Wesleyan University, or college. University? His first pitch, a fastball a little bit too high for ball one. Olofsson, from him you're going to see a fastball, 12-6 curveball, and a slider. So a couple of breaking balls to work with for the tall right-hander. Fastball right there. His second pitch, another fastball, once again missing too tall. Two 2-0 here to the leadoff man, Tyler Modeloid. Swing and a miss by Modeloid. Another fastball from Olofsson, this time right in the zone, and Modeloid couldn't catch up to it. Two-one. Olofsson ready, and here it is. This one down the right field line and going to get out of play as Kelby Richardson gave it a look, but was over the fence and into the parking lot. Let's set the defense here for you for your Collegians. As we mentioned, Olofsson on the hill. His backstop will be Hunter Hudson, who got the start at first base yesterday. The guy who got the start behind the plate, Turner Davis, will play first. Over at second base will be Kix Farrell. Third base will be Logan Cowart. Shortstop is Jimmy Hollinger. Then in the outfield across left to right, Nick Arrivo, J.J. Reeves, and Kelby Richardson. One misses down low, and it's a full count here to Tyler Modeloid in the first at-bat of the ball game. For Olofsson, this season down at Kansas Wesleyan, 16 appearances for him. A 6-3 record, 78.23, or make that 2/3 innings pitched. 3-2, well outside as he may have pulled it just a little too far, overthrown it a little bit. And Tyler Madeloyd is down to first with a leadoff walk. But getting back to the statistics from the man on the hill, Jake Olofsson, last season at Kansas Wesleyan, 78 2/3 innings pitched. Gave up 31 earned runs in those innings for a 3.55 ERA. Did have 65 strikeouts there, so averaging just a little bit under a strikeout an inning. First pitch to Tino Zach is in there for a strike. Zach starting in right field for the Foxes tonight. He'll be followed by Charlie Pila, Taylor Mullins-Ohm, Caleb Schaefer, Brett Erickson, Jeff Vance, Dylan Prokop, and Tim Fitzgerald rounds out the bottom of the order for the Foxes. Tyler Madeloyd at first with a leadoff walk. See ball one miss outside to Tino Zach. Zach out of Hastings College. Just finished up his sophomore year out there. Watches one high for ball two. A native of Nebraska, Elkhorn, Nebraska to be precise. One of those guys who throws right but bats from the left side. Facing off against here the righty Olofsson on the hill for the Collegians. 2-1 offering, swing and a miss. Good fastball location that time from Olofsson as he got Zach to swing over the top of it. Mostly the hard stuff thus far from Olofsson. Does have a couple of breaking pitches he likes to work with, and the curveball and the slider, but for the most part it's been the fastball. Move over to first, and Madeloyd not all that big of a lead, back standing. So 2-2 count here to Tino Zach, top of the first inning. Collegians and Foxes here on a Saturday night. Game 1 of 2, a 7-inning game. So we play inning number 1. Olofsson ready. Here's the 2-2. Runner takes off, swing and a miss. So strikes him out, but in safe is Madeloyd. So Madeloyd swipes second. Tino Zach is down on strikes. So no strike him out, throw him out, but they'll take the strikeout all the same. And now one down and an RBI chance for Charlie Pila. Charlie Pila out of Barton Community College in Kansas, Barton, Kansas. Playing third base today for the Foxes. First pitch to him as Olofsson misses outside. A little bit of a leap off the mound as he knew he just overthrew that one a little bit. The stuff has looked good thus far. Obviously a small sample size, 2 batters in for Olofsson. Just seems to be overthrowing just a bit. His 1-0 to Pila is inside and high. And with the overthrowing, and you're the starter, you're the first real starter, if you will, for the team on a season in the first league game. You haven't gone to pitch in front of these coaches or these fans before, so certainly a little extra adrenaline here in the first inning of things. Olofsson just looking to settle in a bit here on the mound. Runner at second and 1 away. 2-0 pitch. There it is, strike 1 for Olofsson. Bit of a late signal behind the plate. Way to look to be right there on the black. Two one, missed outside with it. That was the slider that time. It looked like just couldn't quite brush the zone. Was trying to work that slider on the outside corner to the righties. It'll look like it's going to be in the zone and then break out at the last moment, but he started it outside, and an easy layoff for Charlie Pila. So 3-1 on the Foxes' third baseman. Runner at second and 1 down. Still here in the top of the first inning. We're scoreless, just 3 batters in. The 3-1, There's that slider right there for strike 2. Pretty gutsy call there, throwing the slider on a 3-1 pitch. But works out for Olofsson as he gets strike 2. Olofsson shakes off one sign from Hudson. Now ready after an extended look in. Big payoff pitch coming here. Olofsson checks the runner and will make a move back that way. No one was covering, so he just has to hang on to the baseball. Maybe wanted to get an extra second to think about this pitch right here. Not a bad idea to give Madeloyd a look back. Don't want him to get too far off the bag there. We saw him steal second after his leadoff walk. 3-2. That one in the dirt. Skips away from Hudson. And to the backstop it goes. Hudson had a trouble finding it for a moment, but able to recover, and Madeloyd will hang on at third base. And obviously up to first goes Charlie Pila. Runners on the corners now. Pair of walks in the inning for Olofsson. Talon Mullins-Ohm looks to drive him in. Big chance for the Fort Collins Foxes here to take a quick lead in the top of the first inning. Olofsson would like nothing more than a ground ball up the middle to one of his fielders here. First pitch. Looking to try and work that ground ball perhaps to see it looks inside and low. That's the place you want to go to get a ground ball, but too far inside, and it's 1-0. Inside fastball, depending on, of course, on where the guy likes to see the ball, can really be the best pitch to get a ground ball on. Jam him up inside with the hard stuff. See what Olofsson goes with here. This one high in the zone, mistaken location, and he is going to pay for it. This one is out of here. Taylor Mullins-Ohm into the screen out there behind left field, and it's a 3-0 lead early on here for the Fort Collins Foxes. Tough to say just how far that one would have gone because it got caught up in that screen. But I have to venture that one would have been into the half pipe in that skate park and perhaps beyond. So 3-0 Foxes now. And Caleb Schaefer in here with the bases clear. First delivery to Schaefer misses high. And now pitching coach Mark Goodman's going to take the long walk out of the dugout to chat with his pitcher. Hudson out from behind the plate will join them on the mound. So a pair of walks in the inning, and then the home run for Mullins-Ohm has it as a 3-0 lead for the Foxes here in inning number 1. The only man not to reach was Tino Zach, who struck out in the second at-bat of the game. Just the command not quite there for Olofsson thus far. Did struggle a bit with walking guys in his regular season at Kansas Wesleyan. 44 walks in those 78 2/3 innings pitched, and 65-44. That's not a horrendous ratio, but not quite where you want it. Just a little bit higher than usual on the walks. A swing and a miss there by Schaefer, and count even at 1-1. Usually you want to be about 2-to-1 ratio, so 68-44, not quite that number. One delivery. Swing and a miss. Good pitch that time. He took him out of the zone, and Caleb Schaefer obliged. Olofsson looking to go back to work here after the home run. 1-2 count on Caleb Schaefer. Here it is. That one's inside. Good take by Schaefer on the 1-2 pitch, and now it's 2-2. Base is empty. 3 runs already in the top of the first for the Fort Collins Foxes. Olofsson's 2-2 to Schaefer. There it is. Strike 3 called. Got him with a fastball on the outside. Schaefer couldn't pull the trigger, and he's down on strikes here for out number 2. So good comeback at bat there for Olofsson after the home run as he punches out Schaefer, and now he'll have to deal with Brett Erickson. Erickson, a former collegian, now playing his games up north in Fort Collins. Swing and a miss by Erickson. And if you're wondering, well, why did he switch over? Well, maybe also the reason that there's so many guys from Barton Community College here on this roster for the Fort Collins Foxes. One of their assistant coaches is now the head coach, Coach King, of the Foxes. 0-1. Lays down a bunt. Charging in on it, but not going to have a play is Coward, and it's a bunt single for Brett Erickson. As GM of the Collegians, he tells Brett Erickson that was, quote, weak sauce. A little friendly banter between the old GM and his old player. So here's Jeff Vance now. Runner at first and 2 away. Backstop stands in from the left side. All of a sudden a move over to first. Pretty good looking move there from the right-hander, but back in time is Erickson on the dive. You always hear about the lefties and their moves over to first. Obviously, it's a little easier to pick off as a left-hander. Can make it a little more elusive. The pitch, swing, and a miss. 0-1 now on Jeff Vance. But as a right-hander, you can have a really good move. It just depends on the quickness getting off the rubber, just the arm angle and the throw over. Got to be careful just not to overthrow, as some guys do. They're just a little too quick, don't have the accuracy. This one misses high, but also accurate with a quick move. And can't fall asleep on a right-hander on the hill when he's got a move like that. 1-1 on Jeff Vance. Brett Erickson at first after the bunt single. All of a sudden, extended pause. Now here it comes. Erickson takes off, pitches out, called a strike. Throw down is in time to get him. Hunter Hudson throws out Brett Erickson, and that will retire the side. 3 runs in on the home run from Taylor Mullen Ohms in the inning. We'll take a break. When we come back, Collegians up for their first hacks of the afternoon right here on the Collegians Broadcast Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, stop by our merchandise tent to purchase your 50/50 raffle tickets. You could win half the proceeds to today's raffle. Help us raise money for the Boulder Community Foundation and the Boulder Collegians.
Nothing Foxes as we play the bottom half of inning number 1. Those 3 runs coming courtesy of a home run off the bat of Taylor Mullins Ohm. Collegians line up pretty similar to a night ago. Same personnel, just a bit of a different order. Though J.J. Reeves leading off remains the same. They'll square off against Joe Richter. Richter's first pitch right there on the outside corner for strike one. 0-1, fouled away by Reeves. Two strikes here on J.J. Reeves. Richter brings it home inside as Reeves jumps out of the way. So the lineup looks like this today for the Collegians. J.J. Reeves will lead off as he did last night. Kelby Richardson follows him, moving up from the 3 hole to the 2 hole. Hunter Hudson up from the 4 hole to the 3 hole. Then Turner Davis moves up to the 4 hole. Then Nick Arrivo is down to the 5 hole. This one flown and popped into the air by third base, making the easy catch over there is Pila, and that'll be the first out. Rest of the order for the Collegians: Jimmy Hollinger, Logan Cowart, Chris Amador, and Kix Farrell. Interesting to see Arrivo move down in the order as he got a couple of hits last night, but all 5 of those guys on the top of the order took quality at bats, so really no wrong way to go with those few guys. And they're going to say the ball touched the ground first. So 2-2 here to J.J. Reeves. This one downstairs. So 3-2 here. First pitch is outside, and well, that pitch is outside. Now make it 3-2. The scoreboard just a bit off, so we'll get that all corrected. But 3-2 here on J.J. Reeves. And there's ball 4. So Reeves down to first base. By the way, that ball that was popped to third, that was hit off the plate. Got pretty high up there, but that was a foul ball. So Reeves draws the walk. Kelby Richardson will stand in now. Richardson, a night ago, was 0 for 2, but was hit by a pitch, scored a run, and drew a walk. First pitch to him, misses outside and low. 2 outs. Richardson did record were ground balls, something he's going to want to avoid here with Reeves at first. There is the ground ball towards short. Flip to second for 1. Throw on to first is in time as they go. Erickson, Matalloyd to Schaefer for the double play. So the base is now clear as Hunter Hudson stands in.
Hunter Hudson.
Hudson, a switch hitting catcher, will stand in from the left side against the righty Richter. See if he can get something restarted here with 2 away after the double play. One in on the hands, pop towards left, and it's going to fall in for a base knock. Hudson recording the single there, the first knock of the afternoon for the Collegians. He's aboard here with 2 down.
First baseman number 25, Turner Davis.
Here's the cleanup man now, Turner Davis. Davis, yesterday, 1 for 3, also drew a walk. The Georgia native using the same walk-up music as another Georgia native, Charlie Blackman. He'll stand in here from the right side. First pitch. A little bit late on a fastball as he fouls it away. Hudson has a courtesy runner on for him. It's Isaac Parks. Parks, a moderate lead over there from first. Swing and a miss by Davis on a breaking ball. Pretty good looking pitch that time on the mound from Richter. You could tell Davis was looking for another fastball and did not receive one. 0-2 here to Turner Davis, 2 away in the inning. 3-0 Fort Collins Foxes lead it as we play the last of the first. 0-2 swing and a miss, another breaking ball. Fine inning on the mound for Joe Richter. Allows 2 base runners, but a double play and a strikeout get him out of the inning with unscathed. And as we head to the second, still 3-0 Foxes. Come on back to Scott Carpenter Park with us.
The Boulder Collegians are committed to the ideals of good sportsmanship, safety, and fair play. We ask all fans, coaches, and players to show respect for the teams, game officials, and each other before, during, and after all games. Persons throwing objects or participating in other acts of conflict with good sportsmanship, safety, and fair play are subject to ejection. Your cooperation is greatly appreciated.
And welcome back to Scott Carpenter Park. 3-0 Foxes as we play inning number 2. Shot inside the broadcast booth here. Jake Olafson back to work on the mound. Gave up the home run to Taylor Mullins-Ohm that allowed those 3 runs back in the first. Misses high to Jeff Vance. For the first pitch here of the second, Vance was at the plate when Erickson was thrown out trying to swipe second, so he'll get another chance at it. 1-0. Fouled away right back into the catcher. It'll be 7, 8, and 9 for the Foxes in this inning. Vance, Prokop, and Fitzgerald. Here against Jake Olafson. 1-1 delivery. Into right. Richardson, a couple steps backwards, makes the catch for out number 1.
Designated hitter, Prokop.
So here's the designated hitter, Dylan Prokop. Prokop standing in from the right side. Baker University product is Prokop. And takes strike 1 here from Olafson. Just finished up his sophomore year out there. Oh, 1 delivery to him. There for strike 2. Breaking ball that time from Olafson. Really tight looking slider there. Found the outside part of the plate with it. Prokop takes one inside. One-two count here to Dylan Prokop. 1-2. Swing and a miss. He got him there. And another strikeout for Jake Olafson. Olafson, his 3rd strikeout of the afternoon. That has been the one silver lining. Despite the 3 runs in the first inning, he was able to get 2 punch-outs. So here's Tim Fitzgerald now, the center fielder, batting in the 9-hole today. First pitch misses just inside to Fitzgerald. No, rather called a strike, rather late. Either way, it's strike 1. Fitzgerald, a native of Liberal, Kansas. This one in the dirt. Speaking of Liberal, Kansas, the Collegians will play a couple of games out there early on in July. 2 road trips on the season for the Collegians this year. They'll go to New Mexico here starting Thursday. They'll have Thursday, Friday, and Saturday down in Farmington, New Mexico. We'll have those games for you right here on your Collegians broadcast network, so you can keep up to date with what your Collegians are doing out of state. The 2-1 was high. Rather, the 1-1 was high, making it 2-1. Two-one count here. And missed low with it, did Olafson. Fitzgerald in a good spot here, 3-1. 2 down in the inning as he looks to get something started for his team in the top of the second. Time asked for and received at the plate. Fitzgerald will give a look down to Coach King down the third base line. Receiving a new set of signs. And I wonder, yeah, and there it is. Hunter Hudson's glove having some trouble again. We saw the seams, laces split in the scrimmage on Thursday. Had to get a new set of leather, and he's going to have to do the same here. So, new glove on for Hudson. And a 3-1 count on Tim Fitzgerald. Olafson looking to work a clean second inning. 3-1 pitch. Just a bit low. Pretty good looking pitch that time from Olafson, but Fitzgerald will draw the free pass. So back to the top of things in Tyler Mattaloyd. He too drew a free pass that in his first at bat. Stole a base and then would come around to score on the home run from Mullins Ohm. Olafson moved to first. Backsliding is Fitzgerald. First pitch of the at-bat here. Line down the third baseline, but foul. Mattaloy just out in front of it there. Imagine. Collegian's going to be in Farmington coming up this week. They leave Wednesday, will come back on Sunday, and then play a game on Monday. So plenty of travel for them. 3 games down there in Farmington. And they'll have play 6 games out in Kansas, 2 of them in Liberal, 2 in Fort Hays, or rather in Hays, and then 2 in Dodge City. Pitch from Olafson misses outside, 1-1 on Tyler Mattaloy. That Kansas road trip coming up, I believe, the first few days of July, just after 4th of July. I believe they leave either the 5th or 6th for that road trip. One. Breaking ball that didn't break all the way and was left high for ball 2. Fitzgerald at first. He drew a walk. Otherwise, it's been a pretty spotless inning for Jake Olafson. Looking to keep the score column clean here in this second inning after the 3-run first. 2-1 in front of the plate, but they're going to say it hit the plate, foul ball. Or maybe got a piece of Mattaloy. Two count here to Tyler Mattaloy. 1 pitch away from working a clean second inning for Jake Olafson. Here's the 2-2. Towards second. Farrell up with it there. Will go towards short and get the out there as he flips it to Hollinger, and that will retire the side. So nice inning on the mound from Jake Olafson. Good bounce back inning for him. Collegians up to bat. When we come back, Fort Collins leads it 3-0.
Please welcome tonight's game sponsor, Cultivate. Cultivate is a local nonprofit that connects volunteers with seniors who are impacted by aging challenges. Cultivate provides a variety of services: grocery delivery, small home repairs, yard work, sidewalk and snow removal, transportation to medical appointments, and additional service. Cultivate has flexible, fun volunteer opportunities for individuals and groups. Donate or sign up today as a volunteer or client at www.cultivate.ngo.
More guys. Roll.
Off the bottom of the second inning for the Collegians. Left fielder number 14, Nick Arrivo.
Nick Arrivo will lead off the last of the second here for Boulder. Arrivo, Hollinger, and Cowart here in the inning for the Collegians. And they trail 3-0. Arrivo will see strike one there from Joe Richter, who's back to work on the hill. Arrivo and Knight to go in the 2-hole, a 2-for-4 affair. Oh, 1 to him is hit out behind short. Calling for it and making the grab is the shortstop, Erickson. The former Collegian retires the current Collegian for out number 1.
Shortstop number 10, Jimmy Hollinger.
Here's the shortstop, Jimmy Hollinger. Hollinger got the start at third base last night and had a 1-for-2 evening. Drew a walk and was hit by a pitch as well. Takes a strike here in his first at-bat this afternoon, and we saw the guys move all around the infield in terms of Hollinger, Cowart, and Farrell. 0-1. Towards center, hit pretty well, but right at the center fielder, that's Fitzgerald making the grab. And quickly 2 down.
Third baseman.
Now here's the third baseman for tonight, Logan Cowart. This seems to me like the right move for Coach Toledo to have Hollinger at short, Cowart at third, and Farrell at second. Now that doesn't mean things can't change as the season moves on, but just based on what I've seen here from the broadcast booth and the scrimmage and the game last night, it seems to be where those guys are the most comfortable. You saw the first pitch miss low to Cowart. Swing and a miss there. Got tied up inside by a fastball. Cowart, the Texas native. Here's the 1-1 to him. Man missed high. Cowart is probably the best defender on the infield, or at least has the strongest arm, well, the reason he's at third base. Him and Hollinger, to me, seem fairly interchangeable in those two positions. This one fouled away. Two here to the third baseman. Richter ready, brings it home. Ground up the middle. Shortstop there for it is Erickson. Throw to first is in time, and a 1-2-3 inning on the hill for Joe Richter. So Collegians can't strike for any. They still trail it 3-0 as we head to the third right here on the Collegians Broadcast Network.
All right, all you tech-savvy baseball fans, it's time for the Collegians social media contest. Pull out your phones, take a selfie or group photo, and tag us on Instagram or Twitter at bococollegians.com. We'll choose the best photo, and the winner will get free ice cream. The winner will be announced during the 7th inning stretch.
Shadows growing longer here in Boulder as we begin inning number 3 of the first game of 2 here for the Collegians on this Saturday evening. Both games against the Fort Collins Foxes, and those Foxes have a 3-0 lead here in game 1. Jake Olofsson, much better inning on the mound in the second. Allowed the one base runner, but left unscathed. First pitch to Tino Zach is swung on and missed for strike 1. And the command just seemed to be back for Olofsson. His breaking stuff was just a lot tighter, was really able to paint the corners with it rather than having it miss far outside or in the zone where it can be crushed, like the home run from Taylor Mullins-Ohm. There's strike 2. So you can see him pounding the zone here in inning number 3. Zach was a strikeout victim his first time around in that first inning. And now down 0-2. Olofsson ready, here it is. Swing and a miss, he got him. Nice pitch that time from Olofsson, went low and inside with the fastball. Zach over the top of it, and he's gone on strikes. Charlie Pila will be the batter now. Pila drew a walk, scored on the home run in the first. Pila checked his swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. 0-1. Pila, another one of those Kansas guys on this Fort Collins team. Takes one outside. Native of Junction City, Kansas. Quite a few Kansas guys, whether they're from Barton Community College, where Coach King, the head coach of the Foxes, coaches, or not. A lot of guys from Fort Hays. This one fouled away. And other places in Kansas. In fact, I think I'll double check on this for you, but Tyler Matalloy, the leadoff man, might be the only guy who doesn't attend a Kansas school in the lineup. 1-2. Towards right, and that's going to be a fair ball. Richardson will have to chase it to the track and all the way back to the wall in the corner there by the 320 sign, and it's a stand-up double for Charlie Pila. Pila's first knock of the day. He's been on base twice. Now that dangerous man, Taylor Mullins-Ohm, stands in. It was just a mistaken location from Olofsson that allowed the home run, left a slider hanging right down Broadway. And he didn't miss it. Right back to the mound. Olofsson's got it. Over to first for the out. Nice play on the mound by the big man. And quickly 2 retired. On the play, Pila moved up to third base.
First baseman, Schaefer.
Caleb Schaefer, a strikeout victim back in the first, standing in from the right side. Olofsson wouldn't mind another K right here with 2 down and a runner at third. First offering, swung on and missed. So he's on his way to doing just that. 3 runs on 3 hits for the Foxes, the big one being that home run by the man who has just retired, Taylor Mullins-Ohm. And no runs on 1 hit for the Collegians. 0-1, too tall. One pitch, and well outside. Olofsson missing location there, 2-1. Runner at third, 2-1 count and 2 down here to Caleb Schaefer. Pitch. Chop towards short. To his right, fielding on the backhand long throw across the diamond, and pulling the first baseman off the bag there is the throw from Hollinger. The run will score, and it's now 4-0 Foxes. It was a long throw for Hollinger as he had to range deep into the hole to grab that one. Davis attempted to tag the runner behind his back, didn't quite get a piece of Schaefer. And our official score here is going to rule that a hit, and I couldn't agree more. That was a mighty long throw, and not this one outside to Brett Erickson, and not in reasonable effort. And that's how you've got to determine those is, well, what's the reasonable effort? If he fails to complete the reasonable effort, that's an error, but that was beyond that to be certain. 1-0 here to Brett Erickson. Runner at first and one in the inning. And he watches one low for ball 2. Olofsson, extended look, now a throw over to first, pulled Davis away, but was able to make the catch. And that's going to be called a balk. It did look a little funky coming off the mound from Olofsson, and any time it looks a little strange, it probably is. So down to second goes Caleb Schaefer. And by the way, I can confirm that every guy in this lineup, save for Tyler Madeloy, the leadoff guy, goes to a college or university in the state of Kansas. 2-0 pitch, too high. So 3-0 now to Brett Erickson, the former collegian. Had a bunt single his first time around. You can see Cowart shading him a little bit in as Logan's even with the bag over there at third base. Though Turner Davis is well back at first. Should he poke one down the right field line, get it past the pitcher, he might have himself another knock. Awful risky with 2 away, and it's not going to matter as he draws ball 4 and the walk. So runners at first and second now. Chance for Jeff Vance. Vance flew out to right, back in the second. Chance to add more on here for the Foxes here in the third. Hollinger shaded slightly closer to the bag with the lefty up, holding on the runner. Swing and a miss by Vance. Olofsson works ahead. Two down, runners at first and second. 4-0 lead for the Foxes here in inning number 3. Olofsson, a couple peeks at the runner. Now the 0-1 to Vance. And fouled away. So 0-2 here on the catcher, Vance. Chance for Olofsson to work out of the inning with minimal damage. The 1 run in on the inning on the infield hit from Caleb Schaefer. Olofsson, a couple of looks at Schaefer. The pitch just missed outside and high. Looked to maybe sneak a backdoor breaking ball in there. Didn't quite find the zone, and it's 1-2. Outfield is shaded straight away on Olofsson. 1-2. Chop back up the middle, and sliding play by Kix Farrell. Can't come up with it cleanly. Throw to the plate is not in time, and the run scores. Good effort by Farrell to even get a piece of that baseball as it went into center field. And a strong throw to the plate, but just had no chance to get Schaefer, who runs well. The ball got over the glove of Olofsson. Took a while getting out there, so run comes in to score. 5-0 Fort Collins leads it now. Up to second on the play went Erickson. Vance at first with the infield knock. And Dylan Prokop, the batter. Strikeout victim in the second. Chance to drive in another run here. First pitch, swing and a miss. Erickson at second, runs well. Vance, the catcher, will let you draw your own conclusions at first. Oh, 1. Say he didn't win a round, so 0-2. Luxon, another chance to work out of the inning. He's had a number of 2-strike counts, just hasn't been able to put it away just yet. And the 0-2 missed inside to Prokop. One, two, well outside. Nice play by Hudson to get to that baseball and keep the runners where they are. Just seems like for Olofsson, once he gets to 2 strikes, which he seems to have no problem doing because his stuff is good, just maybe tries to put that extra little bit of effort in to get the strikeout and causing him to overthrow, and he really doesn't need to. There's a reason the guys are down 2 strikes, and the stuff is good out there on the mound. Just got to figure it out once he gets to the 2-strike mark. 2-2 pitch on the way. In the dirt, Hudson digs it out. The count is full here to Dylan Prokop. What you really don't want to do here is load the bases with 2 outs and Tim Fitzgerald coming to the plate, because as with Olofsson, who we've seen struggle with a little bit of command, puts a lot of pressure on, can't walk a guy in that situation, and puts 2 runners in scoring position with 2 away. Full count pitch, and Olofsson will take a look at second. No one was there to cover. 5 runs on 5 hits for the Foxes. No runs thus far for the Collegians on just 1 hit. Foxes looking to add on a little bit more here in this 3rd inning with runners at first and second. Full count on Dylan Prokop. DH is ready, as is Olofsson. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him. Nice job there from Olofsson as he strikes out Dylan Prokop to end the inning. But the damage done for Fort Collins as they strike for 2. They lead at 5-0 as we head to the bottom of the 3rd. Five 5-0 lead for the Foxes here in the last of the 3rd. 8-9-1 for the Collegians, looking to get them on the board. Chris Amador, Kix Farrell, and J.J. Reeves. Amador hit in the 9-hole last night in the 10-man lineup, was one of the 2 DHs for Boulder. Takes a strike here in his first at-bat on the Saturday. In that 9-hole yesterday, Amador an 0 for 4 effort. Had the hat trick as well with 3 strikeouts. So looking to put it together here today. No easy task against Joe Richter, who's flown right through this Collegians lineup. That one fouled back to the screen. The command for Richter has been rock solid thus far. Has only got into bit of trouble with it with the first batter, Reeves. He walked him on a full count. Other than that, has been very efficient. 1-2. Swing and a miss. A breaking ball. Absolutely filthy from Richter. And Amador is down on strikes.
Second baseman, number 9, Kix Farrell.
Here's Kix Farrell now in the 9-hole tonight. Hit 8th a night ago. And had an 0-for-4 performance. Did hit the ball hard once on a liner, and that one runs inside and gets him on the helmet. Let's see if he's okay. That scary coming up inside on the dome. He leaned out of the way with it, and it got him on the back of the helmet. Two coaches out to check on him. All three of the coaches out of the dugout. He's taking the long walk down to first base now. Seems like it startled him more than anything, the pitch inside. First pitch of the game to him, and comes in on the dome. No intention there, of course, from Richter. He wasn't going for that. Just missed his location inside to Farrell. So Kix says he's all right. He'll take his lead at first, and here's J.J. Reeves. J.J. Reeves in now. Runner at first and one away. Reeves takes a strike. Drew that walk back in the first inning and then was retired on the double play. We're joined in the booth now by GM of the Collegians, Matt Jensen.
Hey, what's up? How you doing, Nathan?
Good.
Beautiful day.
We'll have him on in just a moment. We're just trying to get the microphone situation figured out. Runner takes off. Throw down to second is not in time. So a swipe bag there for Farrell. So uses the hit by pitch to his advantage as he swipes second base. One and two now on J.J. Reeves. Runner at second. Chance for the Collegians to drive in their first run of the ball game. One-two swing and a miss, and down goes Reeves. So J.J. strikes out, and now it'll be up to Kelby Richardson to drive that run in with two away. Richardson hit into that double play back in the first, and a big opportunity to make up for it right here. Runner at second, two away. Collegians in desperate need of a run here, down 5-0. Keep in mind, this is only a 7-inning ball game, so we're nearly halfway through. Pitches downstairs, and reason we play 7 here this afternoon is we've got 2 games scheduled for you today, both against the Foxes, both being 7 innings. And a special treat in between the games. Colorado Vintage Baseball Association is here, and they're going to play an old-time baseball game. Swing and a miss by Richardson. 1-1, and playing it with the original rules from the 1800s. We'll have their commissioner up here in the booth a little bit later on in the ball game, chat with us about the game. And they had some pamphlets out just reading through some of these rules. It's absolutely fascinating. 1-1 delivery. Hit down the right field line and out of play. My favorite one that I had heard, I think I've been to one of these games before, a Colorado Vintage Baseball Association game. And my favorite one is a fly ball. If you catch it on one hop, it's still an out. And the ball they use is pretty rubbery and will bounce a bit. So interesting difference. The 1-2 just missed. Tough take for Richardson, but he's glad he took it. And the count even at 2. Kicks Farrell over there at second base. Swiped second after being beamed in the head. Seems to be all right out there, though. Richter. This one towards short. Hit hard, but right at the shortstop. Erickson throws on to first, and that will end the inning. So Collegians threatened but are unable to score. After 3, we are still at 5-0 Foxes. Once again, keep in mind a 7-inning ball game as we head to the 4th, right here on Collegians Broadcast Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, be sure to stick around between games. We've got a special game by the Colorado Vintage Baseball Association. You may see these fine gentlemen walking around out there in their vintage uniforms. They're going to put on an exhibition for us between games. Be sure to stick around for fun.
Five 5-0 Foxes as we move our way into inning number 4 here this afternoon in game 1 of 2, both being 7 innings games. 9-1-2 in the inning for the Foxes. It'll be Tim Fitzgerald, Tyler Madeloyd, and Tino Zach. A couple of changes defensively, or only one change defensively, I suppose, for the Collegians. New hurler on is John Youngblood. First pitch is high and to the screen, and that's a way to get a batter's attention with your first pitch. And it's 1-0. 1-0 is inside. Two 2-0 here on Tim Fitzgerald. Drew a walk his first time around in the second. 2-0 missed inside. There's a strike from John Youngblood, 3-1. He pitched in the scrimmage on Thursday, got 2 quick outs, and then got roughed up just a bit. But got those 2 outs rather quickly and looked pretty sharp. And there's another strike. And of course, it's a scrimmage, and, well, you say you got the 2 outs, you got to get 3. But his location and just his delivery on the mound looked pretty sharp. Being a scrimmage, the runs were of no consequence. This one fouled away. So, guy that looks to certainly eat up some innings for the Collegians out of the bullpen this year. Henderson State University product. redshirted his freshman year this past season there. So this is really his first college action. Full count pitch. Into right center field. Reeves says he has it and runs over and makes the catch for out number 1. So with Fitzgerald retired, Tyler Matt-Lloyd will stand in for his third try in this one. 0 for 1 day, drew a walk in the first and scored on the home run. I mentioned it earlier, but Tyler Matt-Lloyd, the only guy in this lineup who doesn't attend a university or college in Kansas. Eastern Arizona Community College guy, and Eastern Arizona College, the Gila Monsters down there. Play in the ACCAC. And pitch missed inside. And a couple of local guys from the Colorado area down at Eastern Arizona a year ago. Levi Leisenring and Brock Downing, both of Ralston Valley High School, played for the Gila Monsters. This one inside. Levi has since moved on to a Division II college in the Carolinas. And Brock's whereabouts are unknown. 2-0 delivery. It's high and inside. 3-0. .333 average down at college for Matt-Lloyd as he draws the free pass with one away. Now it'll be Tino Zach. And I'll tell you what, I'm sure Tino Zach is glad Jake Olafson is out of the game, as Olafson got him on strikes twice. Olafson's final line, 5 runs on 5 hits. In the 3 innings. There's a strike. The good news for Olafson is he recorded 5 strikeouts. There's another strike, 0-2 on Zach. The bad news for him, other than, of course, giving up the 5 runs, is he gave up 4 free passes, not the ratio you want. Runner takes off, throw down to first is in time. Tried to slide out of the way, but Hudson had him beat by a country mile. And there's out number 2. One-two delivery to Zach with the bases clear is outside. 2-2 now on the right fielder. Youngblood looking to work a quick 4th inning here. Swing and a miss. Got him. So the hat trick already for Zach. Nice pitch there from Youngblood as he strikes him out for the 3rd time this afternoon. And we're on to the bottom of inning number 4. Still 5-0 Fort Collins.
Did you know the Collegians partner with a local butcher and sausage company for their burgers and brats? Head on down to the concession stand, grab yourself a delicious burger, brat, or hot dog. Everything's absolutely delicious. Just a quick reminder, stop by the merchandise tent for their new Collegians hat or shirt. This is the last year the Collegians will be sporting their iconic BC logo, so get them while they're hot. Leading off the bottom of the 4th inning for the Collegians, Catcher, Hunter Hudson.
Come on, Hunter! Go, Hunter!
Back with you here as you see Hunter Hudson take ball one. Hudson, Davis, and Arrivo in the inning here for the Collegians. 1-0, fouled away. Collegians looking for their first run here, down 5-0. Looks like we've got a new hurler on here for the Foxes. Well, perhaps. This one fouled away. 1-2. One-two count here to Hunter Hudson. He looks to reach base for the second time today. Had a single back in the first. This one into the gap, and it is going to drop that's going to roll past the center fielder. Hudson on his way to second. He'll pull in there. A stand-up double for Hunter Hudson. And the Collegians with their best chance to score thus far this afternoon. And Turner Davis standing in, the guy you want to see up, the cleanup man. I mentioned earlier the Colorado Vintage Baseball Association is here today. That's baseball with two words, in the way they did it back in the 1800s. And a member of the organization and former member of this league, Spencer Roberts, is here with us. He played for the Denver Cougars. We won't hold that against you. Also played minor league baseball for the Chicago Cubs organization. Spencer, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me, guys. This is awesome.
So, how long have you been involved with the CVBA?
Actually,
basketball.
This is my first day being involved with them and coming to check it out. So, I grew up in Colorado playing baseball for Chatfield High School, went to University of Nevada, Las Vegas, transferred to Arizona, went to Oral Roberts University. From there, I went to the Cubs organization, and then on all the summers, I was in the Northwoods, the Cape Cod League, and then this league, my last 2 years. So the vintage, there we go.
This one is hit high in the air.
That's
Deep to
gone.
left center field. You can kiss that one goodbye. Turner Davis leaves the yard. A two-run blast for the first baseman, and it's now 5-2.
That was great.
No doubt about that one. We've been telling you in the last couple of broadcasts he has power. Showed it off right there. A mammoth shot towards the skate park. And the Collegians back within 3 runs.
Center fielder,
That was a shot right
Nick
there.
Arrivo.
Here's Nick Arrivo now. Popped out in the second. What was the experience like playing for you here in this league? Obviously, it was a few years ago.
Yeah, I got gray hair now, man. It was not what it is today. I'll tell you
Grounded
that.
into left field. That's a base hit for Nick Arrivo. His first of the afternoon. So the Legions still with nobody out, have something cooking. 2 runs in the inning, and now another guy on in Arrivo.
Yeah, no, it was definitely not what it is right now. I didn't have this many fans, didn't have concessions. It was basically the start of something pretty special, it looks like, and I'm glad to see that it's grown into this. So,
Just out of curiosity, how does this league today compare to what you saw in like the Northwoods League or the Cape Cod League?
it's early stages. Northwoods, you're playing in big stadiums. You're playing with a lot of Division I athletes, and I'm not too familiar with these rosters, but a lot of these guys are collegiate players, Division I. Let's see here, we got a lot of JUCO ball. Yeah, there you go.
Mostly JUCO and D2 running around here, and some
Yeah.
NAIA guys as well.
I played with guys that are just as good, and it's what's just cool is that that's how it starts. But you keep this up, how many fans are out here, the concessions, you could be pulling a lot of cool players from all over the country, I think.
Yeah, the Collegians for the first time have 2 guys from Long Beach State coming to join the team this year.
That's exciting. It's very exciting. Yeah, I remember Long Beach State when Tulowitzki played with them. Yeah, and that's how far I go back.
Yeah, one of the guys who's coming down, the Long Beach guys haven't made it here quite yet, but
yeah, they're in the regionals, right?
Right, and
yeah.
one of the guys actually, I believe, tied Tulo's RBI count as a freshman.
Oh, wow. Okay. So that's pretty good. Yeah, that's exciting. No,
or rather, not tied his record, but became the first to drive in 30 or more runs, as this one's flown in the air by Hollinger. Center fielder out there makes the catch, being Tim Fitzgerald, but was the first freshman to reach 30 or more RBIs since Troy Tulowitzki there at Long Beach.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, no, one of the great things about that, too, is once you get out here, you got this nice weather, nice environment, they're going to talk about, well, what was Northwoods like, what was the Cape like, what was Alaska like. You know, guys are going to start saying, well, this league's, awesome. And it'll start pulling more and more guys from those teams out here, which will be pretty exciting. At least in my experience, that's how it's worked.
Arrivo takes off, throws, skips into second, and is not in time, so Nick Arrivo swipes the bag. So you played for the Cubs in the minor leagues, and
yeah, and it actually it's my Joliet Slammers jersey right here. That was independently. That's where I ended. Was in Joliet, Illinois, at the prison down there, and yeah, we were the Jailbirds. So I went from there and got a little bit of minor league ball, independent ball experience. Was offered to play over in Japan. Decided to have kids instead and start the real life kind of thing. So, but I miss it, and it's a lot of fun. I still play in a semi-pro league now, the NABA league, but for older gentlemen. So.
What team? We played the Denver Browns here last night, part of the NABA league.
Okay, no, I'm with the Sloths. Yeah, so I'm doing all right there.
When did that season start?
Oh man, I pitched. Let's see here. This will be I started my first game last weekend, and then the weekend before that. So I think it's only like 3 or 4 weeks in, honestly.
All right.
Yeah. It's been fun, man. Just getting back out there and playing again, and it's baseball's fun again at that point. It's really cool.
1-2 here to Cowart and move back to first, or rather second by Richter. Nothing going on. So you've played all across the country.
Yep.
What's it like playing back here in Colorado? Less travel and just the beautiful scenery, just like we have here tonight in Boulder. 1-2 pitches.
Oh, Colorado summer's great. Yeah, it's you have a lot of good weather. The fields are nice, and it's just it's a great environment to be in. Plus, you're in Colorado.
Right.
Wisconsin in the summer's pretty toasty. Alaska can be the same way, but it's just a great experience. I always told people it's where East meets West type of thing. So it's been I had a great time playing in those leagues, and we traveled. And even though we were in Colorado, we went to I think we played the Havasu Heat a lot. We played in the NBC World Series. The year I was with the Cougars, we took 3rd place, I think, and that was the furthest. We were the furthest Colorado team from this league to make it that far. The year I played, but we lost to the Santa Barbara Foresters.
Designated hitter.
See the walk there to Cowart. You played in just so many different leagues. Any people of note? Who's the best player you've seen in those
who I played
leagues?
with?
Yeah,
let's see here. Well, at UNLV during batting practice, I was with Bryce Harper for a little bit. He was at CCSN Community College at the time. That was the year he got drafted. When I was at UNLV, I played with Jake Arrieta and Steven Strasburg. They were Arrieta was at TCU and Strasburg was at San Diego State. So I got to play, with those guys on the field and be with them. That was really cool. Most notable, actually, wasn't a player. As a coach I played for was Rob Walton. He was Team USA's head coach out of Oral Roberts University, and now he's at OSU. They're going to the College World Series, it looks like. But he picked me up out of Arizona at a Chandler Gilbert Community College. And he's, I got to meet a lot of cool guys like Andre Ethier and Dustin Pedroia and Tyler Salad. The guys I played with that were, in my wedding, like Tyler Saladino. He's with the Brewers. A couple guys with the Cubs still, but as I get older, the number gets fewer on who's still playing. That's for sure. But no, I got to play with a handful of really good guys, man. It was fun. Had a good year coming up. Mike Leake from ASU. Josh Spence, Carlos Ramirez, those guys.
Amador chops the 2-1 in front of the mound, but it's going to be called a foul ball. Go back and do it again. 2-2 now on Amador. Runners at first and second for the Collegians. They're down 5-2. Home run by Turner Davis. Get them the 2 runs here in the bottom of the fourth. We're joined right now by Spencer Roberts, former member of this league, and he's playing today in the Colorado Vintage Baseball Association game that'll be held between the 2 games here tonight. And have you read up on the rules?
I have not. I don't know. My baseball history is kind of not brushed up. I can only go back to like the Brooklyn Dodgers days.
Right.
The Dodgers were called the Dodgers because they were dodging the trolleys and stuff like that. But that's about as much as I can go back. I think baseball was invented in England, though, right? I'm not sure.
In some roundabout way or another. Of course, cricket and other rounders and other games certainly had influence. But you were a pitcher. Now, you'd be known as a hurler back then, according to what I've read up on. You'd be standing 45 feet away and pitching underhand rather than the 60 feet 6 inches and pitching overhand.
Man, underhand. Okay, fast pitch underhand or slow pitch underhand? Is it?
If I'm not mistaken, I think the idea back then was to kind of let the guys hit it.
Let the guy hit it, put it in play. Okay.
Defense behind you wouldn't have been great. The defense back then was pretty terrible.
I'm sure, right? Some hardcore guys.
2-2. No gloves, of course. This one fouled away.
Oh, man, no gloves?
Actually, somewhere in the box we have a baseball that's a model of one they would use, a little bit softer, kind of bounces a little bit. The good news for you is a fly ball, if it bounces once, is still an out if someone catches it.
Oh, you can bounce it once and catch it still. Okay, this is exciting. No, I'm looking forward to this today.
And we have one of those baseballs here. You can get a shot inside the booth so you can take a look at it. 3-2 count right here. And this is a model of what it might have looked like. You can see a little bit of flex on it. So get a little bit of a bounce out there. Wrapped in leather. Not sure what the interior is made out of. We'll have some folks from the CVBBA join us a little bit later. Maybe can give us some insight onto that. The 3-2 pitch. Amador thought about it, but held back in time as he draws the walk. And now the bases are loaded here for Kix Farrell.
Second baseman, number 9, Kix Farrell.
And that CABBA, you say, well, baseball is one word. Not back then. It was base and then space ball. So it's the CVBBA. Great nonprofit that does a bunch of historic work here throughout the state of Colorado. We'll have a couple of their folks on later on in the broadcast. But right now we're joined by Spencer Roberts, former Iron League player for the Cubs and former Denver Cougar.
Oh, one guy I remember, Michael Brenly, played with him at UNLV. His dad was Bob Brenly, voice of the Cubs, coach of the Arizona Diamondbacks when he played when they won the World Series.
0-1 is down the line, and it's called foul, just foul, as it just got to the right of the base there. And it'll be 0-2 on Kix Farrell. Bases full of Collegians here. 0-2 on Farrell. 2 runs already in the inning on the Turner Davis home run. Farrell a chance to draw this within 1, maybe even it up, depending on where he can place it. Ooh. Swing and a miss. He's down on strikes. So 2 away now, and back to the top of the order in J.J. Reeves.
Center fielder J.J. Reeves.
Are the Cubs still in this organization? There was the team, the Cubs, I remember.
I don't think so. We've got the Foxes now. Both of the Colts that were in the organization are no longer.
Okay.
Let's see here. I'm trying to recall. There's actually, the Slammers and Game Day.
I know Slammers, teams. Yeah, very well.
They've got their college teams. And your base knock for Reeves. 1 run will score. Rounding second and into score as well comes the runner from second, Cowart. And the Collegians are within 1. Big clutch hit there from J.J. Reeves. Up to second on the play goes Amador. Now a chance to even this one up for Kelby Richardson. Richardson, a pair of ground balls to short so far, one that resulted in a double play. Huge hit there for J.J. Reeves. What a presence he is at the top of this order. The sophomore, or just finished his sophomore year at Regis. Now it's Kelby Richardson who watches one outside. The Collegians have batted around through in the inning. One-0 on Richardson. First and second, 2 down. Collegians back within 1. Richardson takes a strike in around the hands. Richter really laboring on the mound now. And seen his fair share of guys here in the inning as he misses it low and outside to Richardson. What you don't want to do here is walk Richardson. This is the guy you want to face. Hunter Hudson on deck is hot. 2 for 2 on the day. Led off this inning with a double. 2-1 pitch. Fouled right back to the screen. That's one of the better hacks we've seen Richardson take here as a Collegian, was right on that pitch. Deuce is wild here. 2 on, 2 away, and a 2-2 count. Kelby Richardson at the plate trying to even this game up for the Collegians. They were down 5-0 coming into the inning. Have added 2 runs, or rather 4 runs. 2 of those coming on the Turner Davis home run, 2 off of the RBI single from J.J. Reeves, who's at first base. Chris Amador at second. The delivery, fouled back to the screen again, and Richardson threw the hands at it. We're joined in the booth right now by Spencer Roberts, who formerly played in this league. And Spencer, I've been coached and have met a lot of guys who played in the minor leagues, and I hear a lot of stories about the places they stay. What is the strangest place you've had to stay in a minor league game? And we'll have to get to that in a moment as Richardson strikes out, but we'll end the inning with that. What's it got to be?
Let's see here. It's the Ben Franklin Inn. I believe it was in Kansas. This is a place where you could still put quarters in the beds to shake. And then with that, they had a sign on the doors that said, "Please don't clean the birds in the room," for the hunters, because you would get into these rooms. And yeah, we were treated a lot nicer in the NCAA for sure, with some nicer hotel rooms. But the minor leagues was interesting. A lot of hotels, a lot of Motel 6s, Ben Franklin Inns. That was the most memorable. And then I stayed in an Econo Lodge in North Vegas one time. That was pretty gnarly. It said no out-of-state IDs or no in-state IDs allowed or something like that. But yeah, no, it was cool though. It was you hate it when you're in it and then you miss it when you're out of it type of thing. So I remember, I think the Ben Franklin Inn was probably the most notable, or Elk City, Oklahoma. That was another interesting part of town. So. But it was cool, man. It's just what it was. The buses were grueling, put it that way. Yeah.
We are going to take a short break. Spencer Roberts, thank you so much for joining us.
Appreciate
Former
it.
member of this league and minor leaguer for the Cubs.
Thanks, guys.
He's going to be playing in the old-time baseball game. We'll have a couple of guys who will be participating, the commissioner of the league for the Colorado Vintage Baseball Association, on in just a moment, so stick around for that. We'll take just a short break here as John Youngblood gets warmed up on the hill, now only down by 1.
How are you? Doing well. I brought one of the founding members of the organization.
Leading off the top of the 5th inning for the Boxers, third baseman, Pila.
Back here in Boulder, Collegians now only find themselves down by a run after a 4 spot in the 4th inning. John Youngblood back to work on the hill. His first pitch to Charlie Pila fouled away. Pila, a fine day so far at the plate, scored 2 runs, has a double and a walk. Oh, 1 delivery. And there's strike 2. Oh, 2 count here to Charlie Pila. Youngblood kicks and fires and misses low. And we were talking earlier about the CVBBA, the Colorado Vintage Baseball Association. That's baseball with 2 words. And we have the pleasure of being joined in the booth by a couple of members of the organization. The Commissioner, Steve Scorpion Castellani, is there's strike 3 called, and down on strikes goes Pila, and a founding member of the organization, Fast Eddie Phelan. Fellas, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
So I'm looking here, the CVBBA, and we mentioned it earlier in the broadcast, the baseball spelled 2 words. You guys are a community organization, a nonprofit here in the state of Colorado. Tell our viewers about some of the work that you guys do throughout the state, presenting the history of baseball.
Well, we traveled throughout the state.
Ground ball down the third base line, and that's a fair ball. Talon Mullins-Ohm, who had the home run earlier, will stop at first. Good work to cut it off out there in left field by Arrivo, so he'll stay right there at first base, and he's aboard with a single.
So the organization started about 26 years ago. We travel throughout the state and actually throughout the country now, promoting the game of baseball. Again, 2 words as it was written back in 1864. We try to replicate it as close as possible to that era of baseball as well.
Into the play here is Caleb Schaefer. Schaefer had that infield hit back in the 3rd and would come around to score.
So we had a game earlier today with some of our members up in Berthoud, taking on the Berthoud Blues for their festival that they hold annually. Next week we'll have a match up in Broomfield at our original home field there at 136th and Lowell, where the Canyon City Interoceans, one of the permanent teams in the organization, will take on one of the original teams, the Denver Blue Stockings. This will actually be a makeup game from our opening game, which unfortunately was rained out back in April. So we travel the state. We've got matches scheduled in Broomfield, in Canyon City, Silt, Colorado, Arvada, Eaton, Strasburg, all up and down the Front Range. We even travel out of state. We have an annual match that we attend in Bisbee, Arizona, where we play in the oldest ballpark west of the Mississippi, Warren Ball Field. This year we've also added to our repertoire. We're going to Frankenmuth, Michigan for a massive vintage baseball tournament being held by the state of Michigan for a 37-team tournament that, from what we've understood, being billed as a game to be held on ESPN 3.
That's pretty good. I'll have to tune into that for sure. When did you say that was again?
That will actually be at the end of June.
All right.
3rd week of June, I believe it is.
Okay. So, fellas, I was handed a program, and I just got the new one. You guys just got a new one. It looks really sharp. Nice picture on the front. All kinds of things with all the rules, or some of them, I guess I should say, that are different about the way the game was played back in the day. We talked about a couple of them earlier on when Spencer was in the booth. And there's a walk to Schaefer as he will jog down to first. Up to second goes Mullins-Ohm. So some trouble here for John Youngblood in the 5th. And here comes the pitching coach. But you guys, certainly some different rules that we heard about. If there is one rule you guys could pick that obviously the game has evolved so much, is there any rule that they played with back in the day that you wouldn't mind seeing come into the game now?
I think the rule that would be the most fun to see in the game now is where a batter is out, whether a ball is caught on one bounce or on a fly. That'd be kind of an interesting scenario to see, for example, in the major leagues with those big ballparks.
Certainly the ball doesn't quite bounce as much, so you see guys trying to maybe pick a short hop to see if you can get the out. But so what's the game going to look like today, fellas? What's the plan here for how many innings? What's it going to look like?
Well, considering the time limit that we are being allocated between this first match and the second, it's going to probably look like 1 to 2 innings. It'll be similar to what we do with a full 9-inning match, albeit shortened. Same rules will be in effect. The hurler will hurl underhand. Typically it's slow pitch. We don't have too many that are capable of accurate fast pitch. We have 1 or 2. There is no specific batter's box. There's more of a line that the batter is supposed to either have a foot on or across in order to line up with the plate. The arbiter will not stand behind the plate as they do in the modern game. They stand off along the appropriate baseline depending on whether you have a right-hand striker or a left-hand striker, that being the term for your hitter. We'll see the fair foul rule in effect, and that fair foul rule will actually be where the ball strikes first in the field of play, not where it eventually ends up based on the location of the base itself. So, to elaborate, if you hit the ball and it bounces fair to start and then ricochets foul, it is still a fair ball. However, if it lands foul and ricochets fair, it's a fair ball, or a foul ball still, I apologize. We will see the bound rule in effect. The ball can be caught on one bound, and that applies in foul territory too. So even if it drops foul and is caught on one bound, the striker is dead. We will have the rule that foul balls do not count as strikes. We will have the warnings in effect for both the hurler and for the striker. In essence, giving 5 balls and 4 strikes.
So that we'll definitely keep it right here for you during the middle of the 2 games so you can witness this piece of history in action. As it stands now here in game number 1 for the Collegians, 5-4, they are trailed the Fort Collins Foxes, and John Kea is on to pitch for Boulder. Kea's first pitch finds the zone against Brett Erickson. Kea just off the plane from Hawaii, where he attends the University of Hawaii. Played for the Collegians last year and is back for his first game here in Boulder in this season, just finishing up his junior year there in Honolulu. 0-1 pitch, chopped towards short. On the charge and flipping to second for 1 as Hollinger throw to first goes well over the head of the first baseman Davis, and the run will come in to score as it sails out of play. So Mullins Ohm comes in to score. They will retire the 1 at second. So out at second is Schaefer, and Erickson up to second off the errant throw. So we got a look inside the broadcast booth earlier, and I was reading, you guys have pretty authentic uniforms going here as you're wearing here today.
Yes, the uniform I'm wearing today is not exact replica, but as close to as possible for what is a team sponsored by the Denver Rio Grande Railroad back in the 1860s. And we are the Denver Rio Grande Reds, of which there are a number of us out on the ballpark today. We also have representatives of the Central City Stars, the Denver Blue Stockings, and all of us in those 3 teams, with the exception of Canyon City Inter-Ocean, are also members of the Star Baseball Club of Colorado.
And question for you here, Fast Eddie. How did this organization come to be? What was the idea behind it, and who decided to start it, and how did that come about?
It started with a group that was replicating Civil War situations. They were all dressed as Civil War people, and they celebrated and all the rest of those kinds of things. And then a gentleman by the name of Pat Mazengill, who is still a member, got involved, was reading history, he's a historian, and realized that there was an awful lot of baseball being played back in the Civil War days. And that's when he decided to see if he could put together this organization. There are other vintage organizations throughout the United States. It's much more prevalent on the East Coast, and he was familiar with that and decided that he'd give it a try here. And that was in 1993, and we've been going strong ever since.
Certainly a lot of good work being done spreading the history of baseball, and you mentioned earlier, Steve, not just here in the state of Colorado, but throughout the country. And I was reading, and I wonder if how this occurs. You said not only do you have the players who come in uniform, but I was reading that sometimes even spectators come dressed in period costume, along with the arbiter, the umpire. How often does that occur with getting the spectators in on the act as well?
Very often, and it's especially interesting when we play.
Ground ball to short. Flip over to second for the final out of the inning from Hollinger as he flips it over to his partner there, Farrell, for the out. So 6-4 as we head into the bottom of inning number 5. Reminder that this Vintage Baseball Association game will happen in the middle of these two games, only a 7-inning game. We're being joined now by Steve Scorpion Castellani and Fast Eddie Fagelin, two of the two members of the organization. Eddie, you were just telling us about how the organization got started and the spectators that were attending.
It's interesting, especially when we play elsewhere, when we go to smaller cities like Silt and places like that. Many people come dressed in period costumes, and it's really it really makes it a much more fun environment for everyone. A few years back, we took a tour where we played in Chicago and then in 4 different cities in Iowa as we drove across to the state of Ohio. And every city we were in Iowa, they all wore period gear. They gave us the key to the city. I mean, there's some amazing things when you start getting involved in this vintage environment.
That's terrific. And now my last question before I let you guys go and get prepared for the game. Who is going to be the arbiter today? Did you bring someone, or have we assigned someone from the Collegians?
Well, there's a little bit of a toss-up right now. My understanding coming into today's match is that one of our older esteemed members, Red Regan, was going to be our arbiter. However, upon his arrival, Bucky Beaver has said he will be arbitering. So there may be a bat toss or stone toss to determine who shall arbitrate this match and who will actually play. So the arbiter will be provided by our organization for certain, as well as the tally keeper.
Certainly. Any last words as we see the Collegians come to bat about the association before I let you guys go?
The only last words is we're always looking for new members. We're an open organization to equal opportunity for all. We encourage you to come out, try playing. We offer 3 free games before you have to make any kind of commitment.
That's a foul ball off the bat of Hudson.
We do have an age limit, typically 16 years or older with parental permission, 18 no parental permission required. And just come out, have fun, learn the history of baseball, and help spread the history of baseball, because without this sort of organization and others, history is being lost. And this is one of those things that helps maintain that history and helps you see what what baseball was and what it's evolved into.
Well, thank you very much for your time. That's Steve Scorpion Castellani. This one's grounded towards second. Up with it there is the second baseman, Matt Lloyd, as he throws out Hudson for the first out. And Fast Eddie Phelan also joins us in the booth. 2 members of the Colorado Vintage Baseball Association. They'll have an exhibition match here between our 2 games today. Fellas, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Here is Turner Davis now with 1 away, and the base is empty. Collegians down 6-4 as we play inning number 5 of 7 here in the first of 2 games, or maybe 3 if you count the vintage game going on. Swing and a miss by Davis. And we will give you a look here just a moment in the booth, but maybe at the end of this inning. And we showed you the ball a little bit. Some of these bats are also fascinating, obviously just carved out of hunks of lumber, not with the aerodynamic or the precision of a bat today. We'll give you a look at a couple of those towards the end of this inning. 0-1 is inside to Davis, and certainly appreciate all the folks who joined us in the booth. Spencer Roberts, formerly of the Denver Cougars, Steve Scorpion Castellani, and Fast Eddie Phelan. All three of those gentlemen will be participating in the vintage baseball game coming up here in between our two games. And we'll keep the camera, of course, pointed right at the field so you can witness this from the comfort of your home. And, of course, if you want to get involved with the Colorado Vintage Baseball Association, they have a P.O. box you can visit them at when they contact them at P.O. Box 2680 in Denver, Colorado. And then their website is www.cvbba.org. This one is low. And remember that BB, because baseball spelled into two words. Turner Davis had a home run back in the fourth inning, started off the scoring for the Collegians today as it got them within a 5-2 margin. They'd score two more in that inning before giving up the run in this last half inning. He fouls that one away. Down, still 2-2. Nick Arrivo singled after he did. He waits on deck. Will come around to score on the J.J. Reeves single that netted the other two runs for the Collegians. That one misses, and it's a full count here on Turner Davis. Or rather, indeed, Arrivo did score there. Three-two count here to Turner Davis. Collegians down by 2 in inning number 5. This one hit towards the gap in right center. It'll split the outfielders out there and one-hop the fence. Davis digging hard around first. They have some trouble with it out there, but able to corral it in time. And Davis pulls in with a stand-up double. What an afternoon so far for Turner Davis. A home run and a double for him in back-to-back innings. And a chance for Nick Arrivo to drive in a run for the Collegians and make this a one-run ball game. Arrivo, as we mentioned, singled back in the fourth. Came around to score thanks to J.J. Reeves. And swiped a base after reaching first there as well. Shot out on the hill, and that's going to do it for the hurler, Joe Richter, today. He had an incredible 3 innings, then got roughed up in the fourth. And now is in trouble here in the 5th, and he will take his leave. Pitching change on. We'll give you information on the new pitcher when we come back right here on the Collegians Broadcast Network. New pitcher on is Jared Parenti for the Fort Collins Foxes. And trying to work out of some trouble left for him by his predecessor, Joe Richter, with a runner at second and only one away. There's a double from Turner Davis that landed him there at second base, and now Nick Arrivo will take his third turn at bat. Chance to pull the Collegians within one. Down 6-4. Hits are even at 6 apiece. The Collegians have made one error. No errors for the Foxes. And the first pitch to Arrivo is inside. Parenti out of Baker University in Kansas. Here's his 1-0 offering. And that's inside and perhaps low to Arrivo. Two 2-0 here on Nick. Turner Davis at second after his double. Parenti, this one chopped foul. Good breaking ball that time that Arrivo got out on his front foot on. A little bit of action going on down there in the Foxes bullpen. A couple of guys getting loose. We'll see who comes on in this bottom of the fifth for the Collegians. Kea pitched the last inning. We'll see if he comes back out. This one inside. Bringing run here to Nick Arrivo. And that's downstairs, ball 4. So Arrivo draws the free pass. First base was open. So now first and second here for Jimmy Hollinger. Jimmy Hollinger's hit it to center field twice. Once on the line, once a fly ball.
Shortstop, Jimmy Hollinger.
Chance to drive in the run here. Hollinger leans out of the way of this one as it misses inside. One-0 here to the Metro State shortstop. And there's a strike. Hollinger on his way to meeting the goal here for this season as he starts here tonight. Fouls this one away. He just told us before the season that he just wanted to get as many at-bats as possible, and he's got a key at-bat right here. First and second, one away, and the Collegians down by 2 in the 5th inning. And keep in mind, it's a 7-inning game, so treat this like the 7th. 1-2, grounded to third. Up with it there and over to the second was the third baseman, Pila, and there's the double play. So Hollinger grounds into a double play. That ends the inning. And after 5, the Fort Collins Foxes lead at 6-4. We'll be right back here on the Collegians Broadcast Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, do you have a young ball player who's looking to improve their game? If so, sign up for the Collegians' first youth camp. The camp begins next week, Monday, June 3rd, and runs through Wednesday the 5th. Attendees will receive instruction directly from Collegian players and coaches. Hurry and sign up today. Leading off the top of the sixth inning for the Foxes, Fitzgerald.
Swing and a miss there. 1-1 now to Tim Fitzgerald. John Kaya back to work on the mound. Nine, 1-2 here for the Foxes. Up by 2 runs after scoring that one back in the 5th. Sixth inning of play here. 7-inning ball game. The first of 2 here tonight. 1-2 from Kea. Grounded foul wide of first. Fitzgerald walking a fly ball to center thus far this evening. 1-2 is inside. Kea, one of the 2 returning players to the Collegians this season, the other being Joe Milano. Joe will get the ball to start game 2 here, coming up about 30 minutes or so after the conclusion of this first one. A 2-2 misses low, and it's a full count here to Tim Fitzgerald. And we'll have that game for you right here. You will have to go out and go into a new broadcast, as we like to do a separate one for each game. But other than that, it'll be right here for you on YouTube, Facebook Live. Swing and a miss by Fitzgerald, and he's down on strikes. So 1 retired in the inning for Kea, and it'll be here for you on YouTube, Facebook Live, Periscope, or Twitch, whichever way you choose to watch your Collegians. Tyler Matalloyd, the batter now. The schedule for the Collegians in the upcoming days. On Sunday, that's tomorrow, they'll play 2 games against Game Day. That'll be down at Double Angel Field in Parker. This one in the dirt. So we'll have that doubleheader tomorrow. Then Monday they have off. Tuesday a game against, I believe, the Rough Riders. And then Wednesday's the travel day down to New Mexico and games there against the Farmington Frackers. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So that's the rest of the week for your Collegians. All of those games will be broadcast right here on the Collegians Broadcast Network. As there's a strike. Could be part of the reason you're seeing Kea work multiple innings here, is coaches know that multiple guys are going to have to pitch in the next few days. That's when Pop to Hollinger at short hardly has to move and settles under it to make the catch. So 2 away in the inning. Quick work so far from John Kea. And now it'll be Tino Zach.
Right fielder, Zach.
Zach looking to turn things around here today. He's struck out 3 times. First time against Kea. And he watches this one for ball 1. Collegians in their half of the 6th will have Logan Cowart, Chris Amador, and Kix Farrell, 7, 8, and 9. 1-0. That one's too low, 2-0. Kea just wrapped up his junior year at the University of Hawaii. Now the Rainbow Warrior sets and gets ready for this 2-0 pitch. Swing and a miss, and there's the strike. Where Zach really hasn't watched a lot of pitches tonight. It's been mostly swings and misses on the 3 strikeouts. Taking some pretty healthy hacks. 2-1. There's another strike, and it's 2-2. 2 down. 2-2 count here as John Kea looks to work a clean inning. Chopper towards second. Farrell going to have a tough play. Cut off there by Turner Davis. Throw to first is in time as Kay has got the cover. Davis with a nice play. And there's out number 3. So after 5, still 6-4 Fort Collins, or after 5.5, I should say. 6-4 Fort Collins. We're on to the bottom of the 6th. Collegians looking to score when we come back.
Please put your hands together one more time for our nonprofit community member of the night, Cultivate. As I said before, this amazing organization helps and supports countless seniors in our community and embody the Collegian mission by helping to build a stronger Boulder. Leading off the bottom of the 6th inning for the Collegians, third baseman Logan Coward.
Logan Cowart will look to lead it off here for the Collegians as they find themselves down to their 6th final outs of the game. Of course, a short game here with a doubleheader. 2 7-inning games tonight. So the Collegians running out of time here as they find themselves down 6-4. Cowart 0 for 1 with a walk so far. He takes one low for ball 1. Squared around to bunt. Pulled it back. One 0. Chop towards short. Long hop, and it took a wild hop there on Erickson. Able to make the play, but not able to make the throw as it's in the dirt and unable to be dug out by the first baseman, Schaefer. And Logan Cowart is aboard. That really took a wild hop out there on Erickson. It was on the second bounce. It popped higher than he expected. He fielded it, had to make the quick throw with Cowart running hard down the line, and it was in the dirt. They're going to credit Cowart with an infield single, so he's aboard. Chris Amador, the batter. Amador reached last inning with a walk, or rather 2 innings ago with a walk, and watches one inside for ball 1 to begin this at-bat. "6-4 Foxes here in inning number 6. Leadoff man on for the Collegians, and Chris Amador at the plate. 1-0. Breaking pitch that missed inside. Left-hander getting loose in that Fort Collins bullpen. It's Zach Hill. Jared Parenti still working it at the plate. 2-0 pitch, or rather on the mound, pardon me, and finds the zone. Lefty due up in J.J. Reeves right after kicks Farrell, who waits on deck. So unless a double play is rolled, we will see Reeves and perhaps that lefty out in the pen. Pickoff move not in time. Two-one count here to Chris Amador. 2-1 delivery. That one's inside. 3-1 now to the DH. And a walk would do wonders here for the Collegians with Farrell and then the top of the order awaiting. That top of the order, and J.J. Reeves has been on base twice. Farrell on base once in the 9-hole. 3-1. Missed high and inside. Amador draws his second free pass of the evening, and he's aboard. And more importantly, up to second goes Logan Cowart. So the tying run aboard in Chris Amador, and now kicks Farrell strides in. 0 for 1 with a strikeout, but also was hit by a pitch and then stole second. It caught him in the dome. Seems to be all right. Back of the head. Always scary stuff when ball comes high and inside like that. As Coach King is out of the first base dugout to make a pitching change. So we'll see that lefty sooner rather than later. That left-hander, of course, being Zach Hill. Hill, a sophomore out of Maple Woods. So he'll have a righty to face in Farrell first, but then he'll see the lefty Reeves, and should it come to it, another righty in Richardson. Farrell ready for his at-bat as we see Zach Hill warm up. We'll keep it right with you. 6-4, the Foxes lead it over the Collegians. Collegians have the lead in hits with 7, and the Foxes with 6. Collegians have made 1 error. No errors for the Foxes thus far. Hill warming up, and he can play outfield as well as pitch. Another one of those two-way players. We see so many of them in this league. And if the coaching staff for the Collegians is to be believed, not all of them are actually two-way players. Some of them are, well, I guess the nicest way to put it is a wannabe two-way player. And after seeing some of the hacks that some of these pitchers who would never dare try and be an offensive player at their own school take during batting practice, the coaches said, well, no, you're going to just go ahead and pitch this season. Who knows what the case is with Zach Hill? As we'll only see him on the mound here. Well, perhaps he'll play in game number 2. That game coming up after the conclusion of this one, about 30 minutes after or so, following the Colorado Vintage Baseball Association game, although they say it's more of an exhibition, less of a game, and more of a demonstration, if you will, of baseball the way it was played back in the 1800s. Hill just about complete with his warm-ups here. Farrell taking a couple of hacks off to the side. Nobody out. First and second, Collegians down by 2 here in the 6th inning of a 7-inning game. Farrell scoring to bunt all the way. Pulls this one back and takes the ball. (1-0), pulls it back again. It's 2-0, and well, you'd love the sacrifice bunt to move both these guys into scoring position, but a walk would do it in an even better way without recording an out. So Farrell, I'm sure, will be cautious here of where the ball is located. 2-0, pulls it back again. That's ball 3. So Hill in danger of walking the man who's trying to give himself up here. Amador at first, Coward at second. There is ball 4. Kicks Farrell was squaring to sacrifice himself to move these runners up. It'll do it without having to record an out as he draws the walk. And so not the start that Hill was looking for out of the pen, as now he's got the bases juiced and still no one away, and certainly not the guy you want to see at the plate, J.J. Reeves. He's been on base twice, a walk and a run and a base hit. Either of those would be taken by the Collegians here, I'm sure, as he takes a strike. I'll tell you what, other than perhaps Hunter Hudson, this is the guy I want to see at the plate if I'm the Collegians with the bases loaded. That one's inside. Reeves just jumping a little bit out of the way, and it's 1-1. Coward at third, Amador at second, and kicks Farrell at first. Good speed all across the bases here for the Collegians. Down by 2 here in what is essentially the 8th inning of a 7-run game. This one grounded right back to the mound. To home for 1, over to first for the double play. Good thinking there by Hill as he gets the force at home, and then they turn 2, throwing down to first and getting J.J. Reeves, who runs well. So the air sucked out a bit of this Collegians rally with the double play. Both runners moved up, so second and third, but Richardson's going to need a hit to bring him in. After the 1-2-3 double play. This one bounces away from the catcher. It's going to roll to the backstop. Amador in to score easily, and it's a one-run ball game, and that tying run now up to third in kicks Farrell. Big chance for Richardson here. 0 for 3 on the day. Can forget all about this right there with a base hit. This one fouled away. 1-1. Rather could forget about all of that, I should say. But Richardson has a big opportunity here. A base hit would score the run and tie this ball game up. 1-1 delivery. Just outside. Hunter Hudson is next, so I'm sure they wouldn't mind the walk, as Hudson has had a nice day today, 2 for 3. 2-1 delivery, and fouled away as Richardson reached for it out of the zone. Zach Hill looking to work out of this inning, still with the lead intact. Runner at third and 2 away. Kicks and fires. Swing and a miss. He got him. So Hill allows the 1 run, but just the 1 run, as the Collegians still down by 1 as we move on to inning number 7. One more inning left to play here in the first game of 2. We'll be right back here on the Collegians Broadcast Network. Collegians down 6-5 as we begin inning 7 of 7 here in this 7-run ball game. We just want to remind you that there's only 7 runs in seven innings in this game. So it'll be the last chance for the Collegians here in the bottom half of this inning. And John Kay is still out there on the mound trying to keep this game right where it is. Not the easiest part of the order to do that against, however, as he's got 3, 4, and 5 to face. Charlie Pila, the first one. So it's 1-0 on him. 1-0, slap down the right field line. That's a fair ball. That'll roll all the way into the corner. And Pila's going to have himself an easy double. So Pila slides into second base with no throw. And pressure put on here early in the 7th by the Fort Collins Foxes. Talon Mullins' own in now. Ohm had the 3-run home run to kick off this ball game in the first. Collegians, or rather the Foxes, have had the lead ever since. Takes a strike here. He's driven in 3 runs and scored 2 runs as well, as he scored himself on his home run and also scored on a base hit in the 5th inning. towards short. Hollinger will go the short way to third. Throw is too high, and sliding in safe is Pila. Not a bad idea by Hollinger there, going to his right. It was the most logical throw. If he had kept the throw down, perhaps the tag might have been applied by Cowart, but it was too tall, and good hustle by Pila has him in at third. And now runners on the corners here for Caleb Schaefer. Schaefer 1 for 2 with a walk. Chance to put some much-needed insurance on the board for his team here. This one popped high in the air on the infield. In on it and calling for it is Turner Davis as he makes the catch in foul territory for the first out.
Shortstop, Erickson.
Here's Brett Erickson. Erickson done some damage against his old team as he's been on base 3 times. Runner takes off. This one driven to the gap in left center field. That'll get 1 run in and probably 2. Reeves going to have to chase it back to the track, and running well from is Mullins Ohm as he had taken off already, and it's an RBI double. 2 more runs for Fort Collins, and they lead it 8-5. Brett Erickson has absolutely killed his former team here today and caps it off with an RBI double to bring in 2. Mullins Ohm had taken off on the play, as we mentioned, and it was no problem for him to score. Here's Jeff Vance. Chance to add on even more here with still only 1 away and a runner at second. You watch ball 1 there. Vance has been on base twice, infield hit and a walk. Also flown out to right. Kea sets. Checks the runner a couple of times and brings home his 1-0. Back up the middle. Hollinger reaching out. Can't get to it. It's into center field. Runner will score. Reeves can't pick it up cleanly. Doesn't really matter, though, as he would have scored anyway. And hanging on at first base there with an RBI single is Jeff Vance. So the Foxes have reopened this one up here in the 7th inning. A 3 spot thus far, and they're not done yet. Still only 1 out. They had a 5-0 lead coming out of the 3rd inning. Then the Collegians put together a 4-run 4th before Fort Collins struck for 1 more in the 5th, and then Collegians won in the 6th. And now Fort Collins has brought it back up to a 4-run lead here in the 7th. 9-5 the score. And Dylan Prokop at the plate. This one shot back up over the head of Kea. They're stepping on the bag for 1 is Farrell. Over to first for the 2nd out. So they work out of the inning on just 1 pitch to Dylan Prokop, but the damage has been done. 9-5 our score. Going to be a tough task ahead for the Collegians here. Their last chance when we come back in the bottom of the 7th.
Leading up the bottom of the 7th inning for the Collegians, catcher Hunter Hudson.
It'll be Hunter Hudson, Turner Davis, and Nick Arrivo here in the inning, trying to even this one up for the Collegians, who now find themselves down by 4 after a 3-run top of the 7th for Fort Collins. Zach Hill back onto the mound to try and close this one out. Well, shouldn't say close. It's no longer a save situation. We're trying to end this one as Hudson sends one to first. No problem there. 3 unassisted for Caleb Schaefer in the first out. Remind you that following the conclusion of this game, they'll have a Colorado Vintage Baseball Association exhibition going on. Of course, we'll keep the broadcast live for that. And one of the gentlemen who joined us earlier, Fast Eddie Phelan, will be on the PA explaining some of the rules, and we'll input that into our broadcast as well. So you can enjoy some vintage baseball before we begin game number 2 here for the Collegians. 1 down in the inning, 2 more chances for Boulder. This one chopped high in the air, but foul wide of third. 0-1 on Turner Davis. Davis, the big exclamation point in this one so far for the Collegians, a 2-run home run that got their scoring started in the 4th, and then a double in the 5th. He was left on base in that 5th inning, as was Nick Arrivo. Those are certainly runs I'm sure the Collegians would like to have back now looking at that score. 9-5 is our score, 9 hits for the visiting Fort Collins Foxes and 7 hits for Boulder. Boulder's committed 1 error. Fort Collins has kept it clean thus far. 0-1, swing and a miss. Took something off there. Did Field, or Hill rather. (0-2). Missed downstairs for ball 1. Collegians' second game of the night will begin about 30 minutes after this one, following the CVBBA exhibition. 1-2. Chopped towards third, this time a fair ball, and over to first goes Charlie Pila for the second out. That second game will begin about 30 minutes after this one. We'll have it right here for you as well. So Nick Arrivo stands in as the last chance for the Collegians here in this one. And down by 4, really need him to get on base and get a line moving, as the tying run hasn't even gotten his helmet on yet. This one misses high. Hill delivers, and Arrivo loses the bat. Look out over there, as he nearly got a piece of Jimmy Hollinger with the lost piece of lumber. Hollinger will give him a different bat. He says, I'll take care of this one. You use this one. I don't want you throwing one at me again. Maybe Hollinger says, this one has more pine tar on it. That's the one I want you to use. So misses high to Arrivo. When he lost the bat, by the way, he fouled it away, so it's 2-1. 2-1 pitch. Skied in the air. This ought to do it.
Game's over now.
Over is the right fielder. Zach makes the catch, and that's the ball game. So the Fort Collins Foxes strike for 3 in the 7th and win it 9-5. We'll get the Collegians will have their chance at revenge in about 30 minutes after the Colorado Vintage Baseball Association exhibition, which we'll hope you'll stick around for. You'll hear Fast Eddie Phelan over the microphone for that one, and we hope you enjoy that. As for me, I will talk to you in about 30 minutes for the game number 2 here tonight. First one goes to the Foxes. They win it 9-5. Enjoy the exhibition.
More time for the Collegians and the Foxes. Folks, we made a mistake earlier today, and we had someone to come out and sing the national anthem, and she stuck around to sing the national anthem for our vintage game. We want to apologize to Dinah Snow, who's going to now, so please rise and remove your caps for the singing, performing of our national anthem by Dinah Snow.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars